All right, let's get started with our Khan Academy unit test for exploring one variable quantitative data, percentiles, z-scores, and the normal distribution under the statistics course. For the first question, what do we have? So here they're talking about a trail, which is a continuous hiking trail that passes through 14 states in the U.S. The histogram shows the length of the trail through each state. All right. So they're asking what interval contains the 50th percentile for this data. Okay. So I have to see how many. What is the total number of data here? So they have already given, which is 14, and we can also verify that by adding all the peaks. So 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13, plus 1 is 14. So 50th percentile means 50% of 14, which means um, the first seven data, which is included in this range from 0 to 100. We have 8 data, so 50th percentile is included within the first interval because we have 7 within the first 0 to 8. So A should be our answer. Yep. All right. So for the next one, we have students applying to a certain military academy must take a fitness test. One component of the test has applicants complete as many sit ups as possible in a fixed amount of time. Higher number of sit ups are preferred, and the academic calculates the results separately for males and females. There are some statistics for the sit ups portion of the fitness test. So we have some data here, and Victor, who is a male, and Manuela, who is a female, both completed 80 sit-ups on the fitness test. Relative to the gender, who completed more sit-ups? Okay, so basically we have to find the z value for each of them and compare the z values, because z value is the one that allows us to have a fair comparison um, by giving a sense of um, relative comparison. Okay, so we know that the formula for z equals x minus mu over sigma, standard deviation. So for Vitor, we have z equals to x is 80. So 80 minus mu for male is 81 over standard deviation for male is 4.7. As for Manuela, we have z equals to x, which is 80 minus 78, which is the mean, over standard deviation, which is 5.7. And they're allowing us to find the thing using a calculator. So I am going to use Desmos instead because I prefer that. So 80, we have 80 divided by, what do we have? 80 minus 81. So 80 minus 81 over, we have 4.7. So 4.7. This is the first one. And we have 80 minus 78. This is for the second one. We have 80 minus 78 over 5.7. So 5.7 gives us. Now, we have to see who completed more sit ups, whether the first one or the second one. 80 minus 78 over 5.7, 80 minus 81 over 4.7. So as you can see, the first one is in the negative and the second one is in the positive, which means the second one is greater. So which means that Manuela has performed more sit-ups. All right. The distribution of average wait times in drive-thru restaurant lines in one town was approximately normal, with mu seconds in standard deviation. A journalist wrote an article about the restaurants whose average drive-through wait times were in the top 25% for that town. What is the minimum average wait time for the restaurants that the journalist included in the article, round to the nearest whole second? So we have a normal distribution and we have a calculator. So what we can do is we can just use the normal distribution function, and we use the mean, which is 185, and the standard deviation is 11, so 185 and 11. So this is the normal distribution, and we want to find the top 25%. So which means that we know that the normal distribution curve is symmetrical, and if you want to find the top 25%, so I'm interested in finding this value where we have the area to the right side of it 0.25, but because for normal distribution function gives us area to the left, we would find 0.75 area. We would find the value of the data for which we have 0.75 0.75 area. So we find inverse CDF of 0.75, and this will give us the value. And if we round it up, we get 192. So which means, let me see, top 25% means 0.25, and we have mean 185 and 11, and top 25%. So 1 minus 0.25 divided by 100. Sorry, 1 minus 25%, so 25. Yeah, 0.75. So minimum average wait time that included is, what do we get? We get 192 to the nearest whole second. Okay, so here we have 192. So what do we select? Average wait time for the restaurants that journalists included in the article. The top 25% of that town, we have mean 185, we have standard deviation 11, we have inverse CDF 0.75, and so we get 192. So minimum is 193. Yeah, nearest whole, so nearest whole 193. Yeah, 193 is the answer. There we go. A set of average city temperatures in September are normally distributed with the mean and a standard deviation. Fine. They've given us a calculator. 21.02 is the mean. So 21.02 is the mean, and standard deviation is 2. So we plug it here. And they want us to find the proportional temperatures between 17.00. So we'll find the CDF 17.00 and 25. And they want our answer to be 4 decimal places, so we take 4 decimal places here. Because the next adjacent one is greater than 5, you're going to round it up. Oh no, 4. Yeah, we want 4 decimal places, right? So because that is the next fifth one is 5, so what we do is we write 0.9540. So 0.9540. Okay. So next question. The lifespan of gorillas in particular is normally distributed. The average is 16 years. So this is the normal distribution graph, and we have an average of 16 years. And the standard deviation is 1.6. So which means one standard deviation above would be 17.7, and one standard deviation below would be 16 minus 1.7, which is 14.3. So here we have 14.3, and the above one is 1.7, so 16 plus we have 1.7, which is 17.7. Yep, and 17.7. Yeah. Now they want us to estimate the probability of a gorilla living longer than 14.3 years. So they're asking us to find the probability, the area of this portion. Now we know that one standard deviation has an area of 68%. So which means this shaded region 68. We also need to find this portion. So the remaining portion, if it is 68, the remaining portion is what? 100 minus 68, right? 100 minus 68, this is the remaining portion. But we know that it is symmetrical, so 32 is divided between this and this, so we have to half that, and that is 16. 32 divided by 2 is 16, and we have to add 16 to this to get our final answer. So 16 plus 68, 16 plus 68 is our answer, which is 84% for this question. All right. People tend to be members in the Senate later in their careers than they are in the House of Representatives. Here are some summary statistics for the ages of the members of House of Representatives and the Senate 1 year in the United States. The Senate minority leader that year was 66 years old, while the House of Representatives minority leader was 76 years old. Relative to their group, which leader was older? Okay, so again, we have to find the z values for each of them. So for the Senate one, we calculate the z value, which is, we know z equals to x minus mu over standard deviation sigma. So for Senate, it was 66. So 66 minus mu was 62 upon the standard deviation, which is 10. And for the House of Representatives, we have 76 minus 58. Here, this is the mu over standard deviation, which is 11. And now we have to calculate which of them give, greater value for z. So 66 minus 62. 66 minus 62. 66 minus 62 over, we have 10. And the same thing, but this time 76 minus 58. So 76 minus 58, yep. 76 minus 58 over 11. So we can see that the latter one has a greater z value. So the House of Representatives minority leader was older. The dot plot shows the number of days from hatching until their first flight for 12 northern spotted owlets. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which of the following is the closest estimated percentile for the outlet that took 35 days? So 35 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 data here. So which means 7 out of 12 is 7 divided by 12 and multiplied by 100 is 58%. So 58%. The lifespan of a gorilla in a particular zoo are normally distributed. The average gorilla lives, okay, so they have given us the mean of this distribution. So we use the empirical rule, which is 20.8, and the standard deviation is 3.1. They're allowing us a calculator, so 20.8 plus 3.1. So plus 3.1 is 23.9. So 23.9 and minus 3.1 is 17.7. 17.7. This is one standard deviation, the area of which is 68%. And they want us to estimate the probability of a gorilla living less than 23.9, so which means this shaded region. And the remaining portion is 100 minus 68. 100 minus 68, which is 32. And this is the both of those, and we have to half that, so which is 16. And if you want to find the total of that, which is 16 plus 68, this is the probability of gorilla living less than 23.9. So 16 plus 68 is this 84%, and this is our answer, 84. All right. A set of electric toothbrush prices are normally distributed, the mean of this and the standard deviation of this. What proportion of electric toothbrush prices are between this and again normal distribution? We have a calculator, so we just use the normal distribution function here on our Desmos, and they've said the mean is 87, so we plug in 87, and the standard deviation is also given of 8, so we plug in 8 here, and we are done with our normal distribution function with 87 and 8. They want us to find the proportion of electric toothbrush prices are between 104.60 and 108.20. That also rounded to 4 decimal places, which is 0.000123 4 decimal places. I rounded out to 3 decimal places, so it is 0.0099. Yep. Silly mistake. 99. Now it's okay. The distribution of waist circumference of US adult men randomly selected for research study was approximately normal with mean this and the standard deviation this. And so again, we have mean 94 and standard deviation 11. So mean 94 and standard deviation 11. And a clothing store that specializes in serving larger men aims to sell clothing, to sell clothing that will fit men with the top 35%. So which means top 3500 minus 35, which is 65%, and that is 0.65. So what is the minimum waist circumference of this? So we know that the normal distribution is distributed symmetrically. So if we want the top 35%, 0.35, we have to find the 0.65, the lesser 0.65, because normal distribution function gives us the area to the left. So which means we plug in 0.65 in the inverse CDF, so 0.65, and we find the data to be 98.23 and whole centimeter. So it is 98 or 99. It's 99. So B is our answer for our unit test.